Welcome back, everybody. We are Beyond Movies. I'm Callum, that's Kyle. Kyle's not feeling too well, so that'll be him for about a month now. Completely ill and sick. So, anyway, nice noise. Let's just get on to our first topic. Kyle, Dune Messiah. You know, we've been thinking when we're going to get this movie. Well, it's shooting in June. So, that's good to hear. Now, obviously, we thought we'd be getting another Denis Villeneuve film between these, but it looks like he's going straight into Dune Messiah. I didn't watch the Dune TV show that's just been out, so I can't now say everything in this universe I love, because the first couple of episodes kind of bored me, so I didn't really stay on and watch it. But the films have been great. So the sooner we're getting Dune Messiah, I'm happy with that. Get that full cast on board. I'm just thinking, when do you think we'll get it now? Back end of 26? What do you reckon?
Oh, you know me, I'm bad with these sort of things. I just want to talk about really the whole thing of it, because I know you said to me that Messiah is it's a much smaller book, it's a much smaller story, but it is what caps off this Dune story.
And we know that's what's capping off Denis' story. He says they could do something after,
Yeah.
but this is where I'm leaving it.
Yeah, and I also remember you telling me that not a lot of fans of the original books are they don't really like Messiah. They don't like the direction it gets taken to.
Well,
That's where I'm kind of interested in.
I think it's been made a lot more clear in the films where Paul Atreides is heading than it was in the books. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's
without spoiling it, of course.
Yeah.
Like I know a little bit about it, and I know that some people will know probably more or less than me. So just to keep it nice and spoiler free for people here, but you don't really need to talk about it. I mean, we'll talk about it when it obviously does come out eventually, and if we hear anything else. But that's where I'm intrigued on it. I'm like, I'm glad Denis Villeneuve is able to come back and cap this off, because I think it'll be a little bit more consistent with the quality and the direction they take. Like you say, with what they've sort of set into motion in the Dune films already, you kind of can let it go to a particular way.
That's the benefit of hindsight. You know what I mean? That's the benefit of knowing ultimately where it goes. You can drop them seeds a lot earlier than maybe Frank Herbert even did. Like I said, I haven't read the books, but I've seen a lot of stuff on the books, and I'm a big lore whore. So
I don't know why I just thought of Frank Herbert the pervert. I don't know why that came in my.
No, he's not. Well, I'm not gonna say he's not, because I don't know. So, but just like Mug say, world's best mum.
Yes, it does.
What is it? Marvelous mum.
Marvelous mum. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yep. I don't know why that's in your house, though, because your mum's a fucking whore. Anyway, next topic.
I got this for Father's Day.
Nice. Let's get on to our next topic, shall we? Moving on from Dune and bad mothers leading the children to becoming genocidal maniacs. Ugh. Daredevil Born Again. We learnt this last week when me and Kyle had no internet access, because we didn't want to use the internet, because we didn't want to get Brave New World spoiled for us, that Daredevil Born Again is coming at us with a 2-episode premiere on March 4th in the US, 5th for us in the UK. So, 2-episode premiere. Now, I love the whole multi-episode premiere thing for any show. You know, looking at Invincible that's just come out, it's taking that same pattern as The Boys. It kind of changed it for its second season. It was like, we're going to release them all, have that big break, and then release 4 more. It didn't work. I think the best release strategy is, this is a 9-episode show, but they usually do this for 8-episode shows. Drop 3 episodes, and then week to week. I think that is the best release strategy for anything. Look how well it works for The Boys. Look how well it worked for Gen V. Look how well it's just worked for Invincible. Peacemaker did the same thing. You know, you probably won't see him doing any of that stuff with like your premium shows like Last of Us, House of the Dragon, or anything like that. But if you're going week to week, I still think it's best to get that 3-episode blocking to let people get hooked and get a taste. It's like the best of both worlds. Just under half the show will give you, and then you got to keep coming back. Now, the fact that they're doing this with Daredevil Born Again for 2 episodes got me quite excited because me and Kyle already have the day off. So the day off of 1 episode wouldn't have been just enough because I've been waiting for this for years now. But the fact that it's 2 makes it even better. Wish it were 3. But, you know, it kind of shows me that there's going to be some... Kind of like how Hawkeye was, like the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye were... You really needed both of them to get into the story. Now, I don't think it's going to be, you need both these episodes to get into it, otherwise it's going to be like, oh, what the fuck. I think it's going to be more of, the first episode is just going to fucking blow our mind, and then we're going to really want to see the repercussions of that first episode, and where it leaves us, and I think that second episode will leave us in a place set up for the entire season. So, Kyle.
I gotta say, I'm happy with it. I'm happy that my day off is going to be full of just more Daredevil goodness. Great. Double trouble. But the thing that kind of leaves me a bit concerned is, like, we don't know if the show is going to be good or bad. We don't know if it's going to be the best thing we've seen since the original Daredevil. We just don't know. And one of, like, my worries, obviously due to Marvel's current track record, things haven't been great. Yes, things have changed around and they seem to have been getting better. Brave New World, unfortunately, isn't really proof of that. But the thing that I'm worried about is that, yes, episode 1 is probably going to be fantastic. If I had to place a bet on it, I'd say episode 1 is going to be just top tier, going to be really good, a solid episode. My concern is that the second episode, like you say, how it kind of, you get the repercussions of it. I don't know, I feel like it doesn't happen with all TV shows and when they do a multi-episode release. But what I've kind of got in my head is like, okay, episode 1 is going to be a banger. It's going to be great. And then episode 2 is going to slow it down to a crawl's pace. And that's the thing I'm worried about. Or it could go another...
It completely thingies on what the episode is, you know what I mean? Like, some episodes come out and you might need a bit of a slow one after it. You know, it's just if it can not be slow the entire time.
Yeah, and that's my only thing. It's like, fair enough if you want to pump the brakes on something, fine. Just don't bring it to a crawl, because that's when I'm like, and it kind of doesn't set a good premise for the rest of the show, because you're going into every episode then, you know, after this, if it is slow, thinking, all right, it's going to pick up, it's going to speed up, and then it ends up being slow again. Unless they can keep a nice, consistent pace of it, fine.
Think they will.
But just don't be a drag, don't be slow. That's all I'm asking.
Going off your Brave New World thing was like, we've always said the true tests are going to be Brave New World and Daredevil Born Again. Now, Brave New World was fine. It was fun. It was about as middle of the road Marvel film as you can get. It was okay. It wasn't bad. But Brave New World were coming off 22 days worth of reshoots, you know, after the whole restructuring. Whereas Born Again reshot everything. Like, they stopped production and was like, no, this needs to change completely. And didn't start production again until they had a new script and everything. So, there's some, like I said, there's some differences there as well between the two projects in terms of the Marvel background change. But yeah, look, 2 episodes of Born Again. I'm a very happy man. Kyle is going to have to be ready with a camera because he's going to have to capture every time I cry when this show comes out. To the little things like the opening credits. God, if they use the same song, which I'm inclined to believe they will, because they used it in She-Hulk when they introduced him, when he says he's Daredevil, to fucking forgot her name.
The Green Lady Hulk.
The Green Lady Hulk, that's it, that's all you need to know. Jennifer Walters, then the theme plays, so I'd assume they'd use it. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think. 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, coming to us on March 4th or March 5th, depending where you are in the world. Are you excited? I can't wait. 2 week, I think, what, we're 2 weeks away now? 2 weeks away on Wednesday. So, fuck yeah. Kyle. Christopher Nolan's back at it with The Odyssey. This is going to be his new film. It's going to be sort of like a, Greek mythology film. It's going to be based on, Homer's Odyssey. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. Odysseus, that's it. Who did I just tell you this? Was it Matt Damon? That's who was playing him, Matt Damon. This is going to be...
Alright, I could see your mouse moving around as you were thinking.
Oh, could you? What's his name? This is so Matt Damon's going to be playing Odysseus, and this is going to be set after the Trojan War and Odysseus' 10-year journey home. Now, this is going to be starring people like, obviously, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, John Bernthal, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, Zendaya, Mia Goth, Elliot Page, Lupita Nyong'o. So this has got a stacked cast. So, look, Nolan's dipping his toes into Greek mythology. He's done a lot of, scientific stuff, historical stuff, a lot of grounded stuff. Do you think, looking at this now, it's just a first look at Matt Damon, you've seen it, do you think Nolan's ready for the world of the fantastical? Because this is Greek mythology, but apparently there are some accounts of this which are real, which are, people can't make their mind upon it. This isn't something that we ever read in school. This is more of like a book they make you read in American schools, so we weren't subject to this.
No, we were subject to a Pick Napoleon.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking...
George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but do you think Nolan's ready for the world of the fantastical?
I don't think it should be a question, to be honest. I mean, Christopher Nolan, he's a one of a kind. He's a masterpiece. He's a masterpiece. He is a master at... He's a masterclass of just, he knows what he's doing. When he gets into something, he really gets into it. A couple of examples. Interstellar, one of my all-time favorite movies about space and science and the beautiful, crazy, bombastic, scope that they put into that film.
Bombastic. You keep using bombastic.
Yeah, Mr. Bombastic. And obviously you have the Dark Knight films, which, to a lot of people, the Dark Knight is their all-time favorite Batman movie or comic book movie. But I'm not worried. I know with recent films like Tenet and stuff, I know it's not been up there.
I don't know how many people you've been insulting over the past 6 months when you're saying bombastic, right? But it's high sounding, but with little meaning.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, okay, well, I won't use that word anymore then, but I think it's fine. Like I say, I think we've seen, obviously, Tenet, and that struggled a little bit box office-wise due to COVID and stuff. Yeah. But, as a film, it is really good. I would highly recommend Tenet. It's not one of my favourites, but I do really enjoy it. I can sit and watch it. But it's, when you compare it to other films, Oppenheimer is the most recent one he did, and I was very excited for that film. I was not disappointed. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, he's able to jump into any genre he wants and just do it, and do it extraordinarily well. Like I say, he doesn't hold back. He goes fully into things, and we just get an absolutely just crazy quality.
Go on, say it. You want to say it?
But no, in all seriousness, though, seriously, like I have all the faith in the world, and with a stack cast like this,
Yeah,
I mean, we're in for a good time. Again, it's something different, and it's not a thing of like when certain directors jump off and do other things, you kind of like, ooh, can they do that? With Christopher Nolan, you don't have any doubts about that. Like this man can just do it.
yeah. Look, it's one of the greatest filmmakers of our generation right now doing this. He can do whatever he wants, and it'll be great. You know, one thing I did want to say though is, looking at this first image, it can kind of tell you a lot about the film. You know, they're going for more of this. Looks still grounded, even though he's got that big Spartan helmet on and stuff like that. I still do think Nolan's gonna do his best to keep stuff grounded. I don't think there's gonna be any mythical beasts or alt like that. It's described as like an action thriller, but who knows? Who knows? And like I say, stacked cast like this, like Robert Pattinson coming back to work with him, obviously. Charlize Theron, she's great. John Bernthal, who I think might be one of the most underrated actors working right now. He pops up in loads. I've just seen a trailer last week for The Accountant 2 with him and Ben Affleck. That looks fantastic. We'll definitely have to be going to see that. So yeah, I'm excited for this. And when I was trying to think of the name of the main character, I've got the cast list here. So I pulled it up, Kyle. I was thinking, right, this is going to save me. It's going to have the cast list and who they're playing, and it just has the cast and not who they're playing. So I was like, oh, fuck.
Nice.
But I had to pull it out.
Yeah, no, I think I do want to say this though. Like, I know this film is probably going to be very grounded, and that's fine. But you know, he has done sci-fi, he has done realistic things, but he has, he's done everything pretty much near enough. But I would love to see, maybe not in this film, of course, because just with this cast and the sort of the setting. Yeah, it could probably work with the element of magic, but I think it would be very cool and very interesting to see Christopher Nolan's view on magic and how he would play it out. Because, like you say, he's very grounded. Even if it's sci-fi, he likes to ground it as much as possible. And I think it'd be very, very interesting, very cool to see how he would do magic. I think it'd be on the lines of like, not style wise or not setting or all like that, but I think it'd be on like the level of magic you see in Game of Thrones, where it's like magic exists, but it's such a small but very like not overly used. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Well, that'd be cool to see. I'd love him to see do something with magic in the future.
Yeah, and I just hope the action's great, because, I know Christopher Nolan gets a lot of criticism for his action, like the Dark Knight trilogy and stuff like that.
No, I think the action's fine. I just wish we can fucking hear what people are saying half the time.
Yeah.
But I know that's a thing. But
Tenet's action, people are like, yeah, it's cool, but only cool because it's reversed. It's like, oh, well, all right then. But I think he'll do a good job. Maybe this is just a secret Tenet sequel, and they've gone all the way back to ancient Greek times.
That'd be mental.
That would be mental. Right, let's get on to the last topic. Captain America, Brave New World might be one of the most middle-of-the-line Marvel movies that there has ever been when it comes to critical reception. It got a B+, it got a B- cinema score, which is the lowest the MCU has ever received. But that didn't stop it, because this weekend it made $192.4 million worldwide on its opening weekend. Now that's great, because this film had a budget of 180, double that for marketing, so let's say 360 this film's got a hit to break even. So, I've seen a lot of people, we both enjoyed the film, and I've seen a lot of people celebrating online already going, people who said this film were going to fail, fuck you and stuff like that. It's like, wait a second, because we need to wait for that second weekend. First of all, to see what it's going to be like, if it's going to have legs. I'm glad that it's had such a big opening weekend. Look, it's nearly made what the Marvels made worldwide in its opening weekend. That's great. So, obviously, it's going to do better than the Marvels. But we just need to wait a little bit first before we can start celebrating. And look, if this film comes out, makes 450 million, I think Marvel's happy with that. I think they'll be happy with that at the end of the day. You know, because there's all these fake reports about the budget and stuff like that, and then the actual legal shit came out, and it's like, no, the budget's 180. Oh, this is actually one of the cheapest Marvel films we've had in a long time. So, we just need to wait for that second weekend. Then, we can celebrate. Kyle, are you surprised that this film hit where it was? Because we saw it twice on Friday. None of the screenings were particularly filled.
I mean, the evening one was fairly full. Not chocker, but it was fairly full. I look. I've said this as well, along with you. People are tired of bad comic book movies, the genre or whatever. People are just sick and tired of mediocre or bad comic book films, and that's where, like, you know, you get your flops like Joker 2, the Marvels. You know, the critical reception is a very key element, and I think with this film having such a mixed response, like, it's gonna hurt it, but it's
lower
not
Rotten
gonna.
Tomatoes than the Marvels and stuff like that, lower cinema score, but people still went out to
Yeah,
see this more.
but the talk of the town, everything I'm hearing is it's okay, it's fine,
Yeah.
it's not amazing. You know, some people say it's really good, and I'm happy for you if you enjoyed it. Good stuff. Some people who really hate it and despise it and think it's like a terrible movie. Fine, that's your opinion.
Yeah,
But
I've seen. Yeah.
there's a lot of people in like the sort of the middle, and I feel that's where me and Callum fall in. I like the movie probably a little bit more than most people, you know,
Well,
but
like,
I'm just a big fan of Marvel films. But when it comes to sort of like it being heavily in the middle when it comes to the reception, you've got that element of people then, oh well, I've heard it's you know, not great, but I've heard it's pretty good, so I'll go check it out. Or I've heard, oh, this movie's not that great, I'll check it out and see what I think for myself. That's what I've been saying to people anyways. Like, I've been saying to people at work, is like, is it worth going to see? And I'm like, yeah, I would go see it. It's not
yeah.
like a Madam Web or a Morbius or the Marvels. You know, it's one of those films where I'm like, no, I can recommend this film, and you know, again, the you've got all the critical responses and the Rotten Tomatoes and all this, and it's not looking good for the film, which is what's going to probably hinder it down from making a lot more than it could have. But still, I think this is on track to hopefully make its money back a little bit more.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's sad, it's unfortunate. But I think it's, again, it's one of those films that was in a very bad spot due to the previous management of Marvel. Obviously now that has thankfully all changed around. As we said before, earlier on, Daredevil has completely redone everything from the ground up, whereas Brave New World has kind of just like had a bit of a slight shift. It's not had, and I need to emphasize this. I know, just in case people didn't watch the previous topic, this film didn't have a budget of 350 plus million. There were no, you know, crazy reshoots. They didn't have to redo the whole film.
22
That is
days.
all fake news. 22 days of reshoots, which is, if you look at other Marvel films, that's pretty good.
Average.
And it's one of the it's one of the cheaper Marvel films. Like Callum said, it was 180 million for the budget. So the whole, you know, this going around, we can leave a video. I'm happy to leave a video link to that guy for that video you showed me.
Yeah.
If people want to just look into that, because it's
The
all that negative
shebang.
press. I'm glad that has kind of washed away and faded away a little bit, so it's not as prominent when people are talking about this film. But still, it is an element of it being like, oh, I don't know if I'll go see this because it's had all these reshoots. But in reality, it didn't.
I'm going to tell you something right now, though, Kyle. I went to go see it this morning at 11 o'clock. Completely forgot it was the school holidays. But do you know what? it were kind of packed. I think I'd say it were busier than Friday night. So the UK here, we got a week where kids are off school. Now I'd never make that mistake again because it was just kids just crying and speaking, and it's like you can't get mad at kids though. You can't get mad at kids.
I remember when we went to go see Black Panther. I think it was like the second or third time, or one of the times we went to go see it, and it was just like there were just kids everywhere. And again, you can't be mad at them. That just kids, but they were just screaming and shouting and running around. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, but no. So I think it'll fare quite well this week in the UK. You know, we're not the biggest market or all like that. Like there's been a couple of people who've wanted this film to fail since it got announced because it's got a black lead and stuff like that. All right, cool. You weren't gonna like this film. If they wasn't gonna like this film if it was the new Winter Soldier, you know what I mean? So there's some opinions out there which I just completely ignore because you know what agenda they've got, and it's they're gonna make more money from despising this stuff than they are just being honest about it. So
just like the person, which I won't name here. Again, watch the video in the link below. That is a really good video made by, I've forgotten his name, but really just
the whole shebang.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
So yeah, but Kyle, so if this film makes what? Let's say this film makes 450 million at the box office. Do you think Marvel's happy with that?
I think Marvel are like, as sad as it sounds, this is one of those films that was in that bad era.
Yeah.
And if they really wanted to, they could have gone extensive and heavy with the reshoots and things like that.
They could have done.
They chose not to. Yeah, they chose not to. They chose They said, look, we are gonna still release the film as pretty much as it is. We might change a couple things here and there, like you said, 22 days of reshoots and all that shebang. But there's nothing much we can do unless extensively changing the whole film. Now, when it comes to a movie and a TV show, the budgets are very, very vastly different. So, you know, why didn't they just give it the treatment that they gave Daredevil? Money, time schedules. These are big actors, big stars. They've got all these contracts and stuff. Whereas a show, because the budget's a lot smaller, doesn't say anything to the quality of it either. I'm just saying, in reality, you can probably kind of do that with a show. Whereas a big movie, you've got a marketing, you've got contracts to do all the toys, to do all these things, contracts with all the cinemas around the world.
Yeah.
You've kind of got to hit certain deadlines. And I think if Marvel probably had a bit more time with this and were willing to push it back, then we could have gotten something maybe a little bit better. But Marvel's pushed back enough now, and if they keep doing it, look at Blade, for example. That's fucking nowhere near to coming out. You've got the Avengers movies that are supposed to be coming out fairly soon. I know it's like 2 years away or whatnot.
It's a year away.
Well, it's a year away, I should say. Sorry, but I mean for the next one after as well.
About 15 months.
Yeah, so they can't push these things further back. They've just got to release it. If it gets lukewarm reception, and if it makes them okay money, then I think they're happy with that. I think that's probably the best scenario that they can get. Again, they've come off of duds like the Marvels, which was did horrible at the box office and critically, but they had a great success with Deadpool and Wolverine. So I think that's what helped them a little bit with that. But,
yeah, no, definitely, because this is the first true MCU movie since the Marvels as well. Like, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine is an MCU movie, and everyone like, Marvel saved with Deadpool and Wolverine. We didn't count it in there because we knew it was completely different, production people. It were Ryan Reynolds' thing, not really Kevin Feige's thing. Don't get me wrong, we could have been out there and said Marvel saved and stuff like that, because it fits. I'm gonna sneeze, no I'm not. That would have been a big one as well. We could have easily said that Marvel was saved with Deadpool and Wolverine because it would fit a narrative that me and Kyle would much prefer because we're big Marvel fans. But look, we've always been a bit apprehensive about things. And, my panties are down and ready for Daredevil Born Again, though. That's all I can say. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right. I think that'll do us for today, Kyle. Guys, what do you think of Captain America Brave New World's box office? What do you think of the film? Go check out our review. We've got a review. We took a cute picture in front of the big billboard outside the IMAX screen. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you. I don't know when we'll see you, but we will see you soon. Bye bye.